Hey y'all, Juli here, and as per popular request, aka two much appreciated comments, on my Korean art supplies haul video, I will be painting on one of these watercolor coloring sheets. I paid maybe $7 or $8 for the set of 4 watercolor coloring pages because I both really like the art, and it also comes with these watercolor squares that you can actually extract paint from. I thought that was so neat, and honestly, this feature is what drove me to make the purchase. We need more watercolor sets like this, like an all-in-one package to make finished watercolor pieces, but you're given some guidance via an image of the finished piece. Kind of like paint by numbers, but without the numbers. The thing about Korean coloring books is that they always have one side that's lined and then the other side of the finished piece. That way you can pull inspiration or completely copy all of the colors on the other side of the book. So I'll show you what that looks like. It's nice to not have to think about everything that goes into making an art piece and just focus on the painting part of it, which for me is the most relaxing part of creating art. Sometimes I'll sketch out a few pieces with the intention of painting them later on when I'm not in the mood to think. It helps remove a barrier of creating art when you just want to make something, but you also want to skip a bunch of steps and just watch the watercolors interact with one another, which, come on, is the best part of using the medium. Oh, this brush feels awful. It feels awful. Yeah, I might have to switch to my regular brush. But wow, this swatch card is tiny, isn't it? I don't know if I'm gonna swatch all of the colors, maybe just some of them. Oh no, not gonna use this brush. This is my Hemi brush and it's still fairly new. I posted a video review on this brush set, so if you're interested in a cheap yet high quality set of brushes, I really do recommend it. Okay, that's actually quite nice, isn't it? Look at that. And that is a very good match. So I don't think I'll actually have to swatch all of them. Watercolor is my absolute favorite and has been for maybe 4 years now. There's just something so mesmerizing about how the paints interact with one another and seeing the effects of layering. Watercolor is also incredibly versatile. I think that's what made me fall in love with it in the first place. The fact that you can create a clean, almost printer-like character piece with flat washes, or something explosive and expressive with a wet-on-wet technique. It also really tests your patience, which can be relaxing at times, asterisk. Sometimes I'll just sit at my desk and literally watch the paint dry. It almost puts me in a meditative stance. And then of course, there are the times when it's super annoying to wait and you pull out your heat gun, or worse yet, you're too lazy to pull out your heat gun. You know the watercolors you put down aren't dry enough to layer on top of yet, but you ignore that nagging voice in the back of your head and you do it anyways, ending up with a blotchy mess. But I digress. For those of you who are new to my channel, I spent 2 years living and working in South Korea. I returned back home to Canada a few months ago, and this is one of the handful of arty things I brought back with me. I had both high hopes and low for this set of watercolor pages. High hopes for the art and the paper it was on, and low for the watercolors. The lovely Mel Arts warned me ahead of time that the paints aren't very good. Also, to be frank, they look pretty cheap. But a girl can hope, right? At the end of the day, they're just watercolor squares on cardstock, and it's hard to have high expectations for that, especially at the price point that I bought this set for. A few years ago, when the Peerless and Viviva watercolor sheets were all the rage, I've wanted to try them out so badly, but could not justify going through with the purchase when I had a perfectly good set of watercolors already. So seeing this sheet of watercolor paints got me super excited. I'd finally have that sought-after watercolor sheet experience. What I didn't realize was that there'd be hardly any paint on the squares. I ended up using both of them for this single art piece because I ran out of the purple color to paint the girl's sweater with. The paints were chalky, not very pigmented, and didn't layer well at all. It really made the experience of working with the line art a pain in le derriere. It was not pleasant, and after working with my handmade watercolors a few days prior, it was just one frustrating art piece after another. To say I was a bit fed up is the understatement of the year. I really wanted to rely fully on the watercolors that came with the set because that's exactly how they're meant to be used. I wasn't anticipating on needing to whip out my colored pencils or my Mei Liang watercolors, but lo and behold, they came to my rescue as they normally do. I lined some parts, darkened others to improve the values, and went over pretty much everything else with my Pretty Excellent set, aka the love of my life. I also decided to deviate from the reference photo and paint the background lime green. I just felt like she needed a bit more color behind her. Let me know what you think of this move. Did you prefer the background plain white or do you like the bright green? I don't know what it is about lime green, but I do enjoy incorporating the color into my pieces. Less so lately, but it became my favorite color for adding little accents on character sketches and portrait type paintings. Oliver! Look how beautiful it is, guys. We found him, by the way. He really loves the snow. Look how gorgeous. Come on. Come on. Overall, the watercolors that came with the set are awful. I can't speak much about the paper because I was fighting so hard with the watercolors that it just soured this whole experience. Also, I had to rely on so many layers that it really did compromise the integrity of the paper. It would be unfair to judge it as it stands currently. So next time, and it'll probably be a little while because I do not feel like fighting with my art right now. I really don't, so it'll be a few weeks. But next time, I think it would be a good idea to just paint with my regular watercolors. That way, I could give a proper review. Is this even a review? I don't know. On this watercolor coloring page set for the pages themselves. Look how awful this is. This is awful, awful, awful. No, no, no. I did my best. I used 2 sheets because I ran out of the purple. No, not good. I'm gonna try to salvage this. I'm gonna take a break from watercolors, give the paper a rest, and I'm gonna go in. Look at that snow. I can't get over it. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna go in with my Prismacolor Scholars and Premieres and try to salvage this with my colored pencils, and then I'll go over it very carefully one more time with my Mei Liang Pretty Excellent watercolors because this is not it. This is not it. This is not watercolor paper. It really isn't. It's just like thick printer paper. It's like cardstock. And this is not pigmented at all, and it's super chalky, and no, not a fun experience. And after working with my handmade paints, which also was not a fun experience, that was actually the last painting I made, and that was like what, 3 days ago maybe. I just want to enjoy the process of painting, but this and the last painting, they've gotten me real frustrated. So, I can't wait till this is over, which is so sad. I was really excited about these watercolor coloring pages, and I know a few of you in the comments were excited to see me work with them as well. So this is pretty disappointing, but maybe after I get my spirits up, I'll try to paint another one with my Mei Liang watercolor set to see if it works a lot better. I'm sure it will, but you know, at the end of the day, you could use cheap paints, but as long as you have good paper, normally it works out. This paper is really, really tough to work with. I think these pages might be better suited for gouache or colored pencils over watercolors. Sorry, the birds. Do you want to say hi? Hello. We normally let them fly around every day, so they're not just stuck in their cage, don't worry. But anyways, I'm gonna keep at this, and this is really making me fall out of love with art. Temporarily, of course, but not fun. The final piece isn't terrible, but it isn't very good either, let's be honest. I'm just looking forward to painting something that I can be proud of. Or not even that, but something that I can enjoy the process of regardless of whether the end result is nice. Because this, is not it. I have to say that I do love the style of Korean coloring books in that they have beautiful artwork and they showcase the finished piece on the page next to the line art. This way, you can take inspiration from the colors used or just copy it completely. It's a great way to learn or to just shut your brain off and relax into the art. I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, you'll definitely enjoy the future video I plan to make on painting in this Korean gouache coloring book I picked up while living in Korea. So subscribe and stay tuned. You may also enjoy the original haul that featured this watercolor page set. It was actually my best viewed video as of late, so I really appreciate you guys for watching it. I'm getting closer to being reinstated to the YouTube Partner Program. It's been a tough and very slow process, but in a few months, hopefully before the summer, I'll be back in. Fingers crossed. So I'd really, truly, genuinely appreciate any form of engagement you can offer. Go to a playlist, put it on in the background, let me keep you company while you're painting or cooking. It would be an incredibly huge help. Next week, I plan to upload a video on my latest thrift store art supply finds, including a vintage set of Winsor & Newton Cotmans. Ooh. Or I might post that before this one goes up. I haven't decided yet. So either check it out or come back next week if you're interested. Like, subscribe, comment, or don't. Just follow your heart. And until next time, stay creative. Peace.